This is the India Today War Room, and let's get you a conflict tracker to get you all the updates right now that you need to know on the Israel-Hamas war. A lot of questions about what really happens to Israel's Gaza invasion plan. So I want to tell you about that first. To tell you about whether the ground invasion plan has come to a halt right now. Why is that? Because of the humanitarian crisis playing out in Gaza. The hospital deaths, the reported death toll of 500, has no doubt put immense pressure on Israel. The humanitarian crisis heat has hit max. It was already high, but now several Israeli allies are also questioning the country's stand of invading Gaza. There have been protests that have broken out in Israel's neighboring countries. Many of them, of course, have these kind of protests, but you saw a massive outpouring of support for Palestine, for Gaza this time around. And it's not just in Israel's hostile neighbors, but also the United States, for example. Joe Biden visited Israel, said very clearly, I am with you, I am with Benjamin Netanyahu when he goes ahead and ends Hamas, but has sent out a message that, look, you must ensure the casualty count in Gaza doesn't go up. So there is pressure mounting on Israel. Another very crucial ally, perhaps the only Arab friend that Israel has, UAE, has also condemned the Gaza hospital strike and has called for a ceasefire. Now, that's something that Israel has ruled out, saying there's no question of a ceasefire. But there is pressure mounting on them from their own. The Iran-Hezbollah second front war, the fight that's happening, the conflict there, much more likely now, because Hezbollah has condemned what's happened. Can Israel take on what's happening in the north of their borders and in Gaza? There's no clear exit strategy or end game for this invasion, and that's also a big headache for Israel. They don't know really where this ends or how long this could go on. Another big issue, and this will play out politically, is that the images that are coming in, heartbreaking ones from Gaza, of people, locals who have been affected, have nowhere to go, is also changing the mood in Israel, that there is some sense of sympathy that's coming to the fore. And that's obviously something that Israeli government will keep a close eye on. That doesn't mean, however, that support is dwindling for Israel. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look at, in fact, how much support is pouring in right now for Israel from countries around the world. The United States, as I mentioned, US President Joe Biden not just flew down to Tel Aviv, but sent out a message saying, we are with you, even saying that the Gaza hospital strike was done by the other side, by Hamas. Besides that, you see here that several countries, including, of course, India, has expressed solidarity with Israel, shock over the Hamas carnage. Importantly, also UAE, the only Arab friend for Israel, is also with them right now. Which are the countries supporting Palestine? Let me break that down for you right now as well to tell you about the support pouring in for Palestine. Not surprising that most of these countries are Islamic nations. And what's also interesting to note here is that the entire Middle East or West Asia region, most of the countries are on Palestine's side. In some cases, this also translates to support for Hamas, which has proved to be dangerous, which many say is what's fueling and even funding to some extent this conflict, that Hamas is able to actually fight it out and fire missiles in Israel's direction. So this gives you a sense of exactly where the conflict is poised right now and who is backing whom in this ongoing conflict.